Hi guys, you're welcome to my channel. This is week 6 project education, which is the first assignment in week 6 for those of us who are doing business application, which is BUS 115. So gradually we are getting to the end of the semester or the end of the course. Okay, which means next week, week 7, that's the end of the week. Okay, so you already know how to go about it. Okay, you first have your scenarios. Okay, and please, when it comes to the standard of professionalism, every week a new standard of professionalism is being taught. So try to open it and read, because the assignments given have they give some specific things that we have to do when it comes to the standard of professionalism for every week. So try to view that and know what they require of you in this very assignment. So I'll just walk through, which will be a tutorial. So I'm not going to do everything, but I will leave some. You already know how to do some, and then you can do the rest on your own. Okay, so I already have my downloaded workbook here. So when you download the workbook, you should have something like this. Okay, you have 2 sheets. This one, we are not going to create any additional sheets. We just work on these 2 sheets that have been provided for us. Okay, so let's go to what the requirement asks of us. Okay, so the first one on the grade sheets, okay, which is this one. Okay, let's see what they have for us. It says that use test functions to break apart the first and last name of each student into the provided columns. Okay, so here we have first name and then last name. Okay, these are columns, different columns, just that you can't see the guidelines. Okay, so it says that we should break these names into first and last name. For example, this is Jameson Parada, which is Jameson is the first name and Parada is the last name. So you use a function to break the names into 2. We have already done that, so I'm not going to do that for you. Okay, you have to master the function or the formula for this one, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so let's go to the second one. It says calculate each student's final score and the class average in column AD all the way to the right. Okay, so we are going to calculate for the final score and the class average in column AD. Okay, so we are still on the grade sheet. Okay, let's go to column AD. Okay, so this is column AD, and it says that we have to calculate for the final score, and then the average, and then also class average, and then final score. Okay, so remember we have class average here, we have the possible points, and we have the class average points. Okay, so we are going to sum up them, and then we use it to calculate for the final score. Okay, so for this very one, okay, our formula will be equals to the sum of everything here. Okay, from E2, the sum of everything here. Okay, sum of everything here. Okay, including final exams. Okay, and then you hit enter. Okay, so when you hit enter, you get something like this. And then we'll also do the same thing for this. Okay, so you can just drag it down here, and you get something like this. let me just anchor the rows and see if you get any difference. Just anchor the rows. Since this is a row, I just anchor the row. Okay, I still get the same thing. So anchor the rows, and then, so as you can see, okay, now for here, we are calculating for what? The average. Okay, now the average is equal, it will be equal to whatever that is in AD3. Okay, will be divided by whatever is in AD2. Okay, then hit enter. So you have to get, it has to be in percentage form. Okay, you need to get something like this. Okay, so that is that for the this. Okay, and then also say we should calculate for the final score here. Okay, so we just sum up everything from, for all the students, we sum up from test to the project. Okay, so you can just sum up one, and then you use that to look for the rest. Okay, so you should go to sum, okay, of the whole. Okay, starting from this first student. Okay, sum of everything here, including the final exam. Okay, then hit enter. Okay, so you get something like this here, and then you drag it for the rest. So you should be able to get this. You have to get something like this there. Okay, so let's go to the next requirements. Okay, it says add a new column, add new calculation column AE for the final score percent. Now, they have given us the final score percent formula to find it. Okay, it says total points earned divided by total points that is possible. Okay, so this is column AE. This is column AE. It says we should add a new word calculation. Okay, let me open it. So I'll just write final score percent. Final score percent. And then let me broaden this a bit. Okay, look nice. Okay, so it says that the final score percent, the formula is what? Total points earned. Total points earned divided by total points that is possible. Now, we have the total points earned. Okay, this is the point that each student was able to earn. Okay, that's the final score, that's their total, the point that they were able to get. And it will be divided by the total point that was possible for them to get. And this is the total point. Okay, so which means that at the end of the exams, all of them were supposed to, like, the total grade was supposed to reach 100, 1,000, sorry, 1,000. So to get the percent, we are going to divide the points that they got by the total point they were supposed to what, get to get our final score percent. Okay, so our formula here will be equal to the total points earned divided by the total point that is possible. Okay, now because we are going to drag it down, it's important that you anchor this final score percent. Okay, so we are going to use absolute referencing. Okay, We use arbitrary referencing to anchor both row and columns, and then hit enter. Okay, so you can see that it's showing up as what? Decimals. Okay, then you can come here and change it to percentage. Okay, leave one decimal place. Okay, so that is how it is supposed to be. Okay, so this is your final score percent. Let me see if I can apply some format painting here to get all of them as shaded. This thing. Oh, great. Export this again. Okay, leave one decimal point and then drag for the rest of them. Okay, and I'll bold in this. So you should have something like this here. That'll be your final score percent. All right, so let's go back and see what we have. Okay, so we are done for the gray sheet. Now we come to the dashboard. Okay, as you see, the dashboard is set up for you and should allow you to spend most of your time filling in the correct formulas, number formatting, and most importantly, creating charts. Okay, please ensure you solve for the all of these items. In the shaded section below, label student name, create a drop-down list that allows the user to pick a student from the list on the gray sheet. Many of the other functions will be used, and the dashboard will reference this cell, so consider using a name range. So as you all know, okay, coming back to this, you already know how to go about with your name range. So I'll create a name range for the students. Okay, you already know how to do that. Okay, so I just name it as names. Okay, and then go to my student, go to data validation, go to list, and then I'll bring my equal sign, and I'll enter the way I named it in. Okay, so I've gotten that here. Now this place, okay, this first and last name had already been solved for you. The formula is already, as you can see. So once if you did the name splitting here, okay, I'm not going to do that. You do that on your own. If you do the name splitting here, when you do the name range and then bring your drop-down list of the customer's name, this place should automatically appear. Now it's showing as 0 because I have not done it here. So when you do that, it should automatically appear. Okay, and then you also, okay. So we done that for the name range. Say in the merge cells below, label final score. Use a lookup function to get the selected student final score from the gray sheet. Okay, so we are going to do that for the final score. It says we should use a lookup function. Okay, so let's use vim lookup. So we are going to look for this here. This is the final score. Okay, so we are going to look it up on this sheet. Okay, so when you come here, you can see the final score for Jameson Parada. Okay, Jameson Paradise, this is the final score, but they want the percentage of it. So we are going to look up for this. Okay, so let me see. She didn't do that, but I will try to do that. Okay, she's going to v lookup. This is a lookup value. Now, table array. Table array is the table. You can create a name range for the table, or if you choose not to, it's up to you. Okay, but I will not. Okay, now the column index number for this column. Okay, remember, we know that the alphabet, you have 26 letters in the alphabet. Z is 20. So if Z is 26, this is 27, 28, 29, 30, and this is 31. Okay. This is 31. So with 31, then we are looking for exact match, which is false. So I'll hit enter. Now this is okay. This is what we have to get. Let me move it to one. Sorry, one decimal place. Okay. So if you check for everybody, you have to get their final score percent. Okay. All right. You have to get the final score percent for all of them. And you can cross-check them in prices 64.8, and then you can see 64.8. You can 8, and you can cross-check for everybody. Okay. All right. So let's go to what we got again. It says that in the merge cells to the right, label student ID, use the lookup function to get the selected student's ID from grade sheet. Okay, so just like you see here, this is the student ID. So we are going to use a lookup function to get from, just like we did for this one. You already know how to do doing lookup, and then you know where the student ID column is. Okay, so you do that on your own. Okay, I will advise that you don't create a name range for the whole data. Okay, try to select, this is not a lot, just 26. Try to select all of them manually instead of using name range for the whole data. Okay, because when it comes down here, you will find yourself wanting if you create a name range. All right. So that is that. For that, you do these three in your room. And then we'll go to the let's see what we have again. Okay, so we say for each of the major sections, final exam, test, first half project, second half project, you will need to use functions to get a selected student score, calculate the percent based on the possible point. It should be done in a single cell. Use function to get class average percent for the given assignment. Create a chart and display the student performance in relation to class average. For the final exam project chart, the scores must be shown in the columns with the class average using as a dot. Okay, so what this means is that it says that for each of the major sections, so we have about 4 major sections. We have final exam, we have test, okay, you have first half projects, and we have second half projects. Now, what this means that we are going to calculate for, for final exam, we have to calculate for a student percent, the class average. For test, we have to calculate for the student percent of test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, class average for test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. So that is that for the test. We do the same thing for the first half projects and the second half project. Now, when you go to this place, you can see you have test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. Now, when you come to the project you can see first half. So project 1 to project, I think 10, all of them are first half projects. Now from the second half project, start from project 11 through to project 20, which is the second half project. Now we are going to calculate for the student percent and the class average for each of these. Okay, so just like I said, don't create name range for the whole data in grades in this sheet. Okay, because the calculation is a bit risky. And then if you create name range, you will find yourself in trouble. Okay, so I will try to show how you go about it here. Okay, with the final exam and the test. And then you use the same to, do the rest for yourself. Okay, so for the final, exam, the student percent, okay, for the student percent, our formula it will be equal to, we use VLOOKUP. So go to VLOOKUP. As always, I'll look at value this. This time around, I think let's try to anchor it. Oh no, we'll not anchor it. Okay, So we'll go to our table array. Our table array. Normally, our table array is supposed to be for, okay, it's supposed to start from A to the end of the list. But this time around, we start from this place. Okay, from A7, okay, through to the end. Okay, through to the end to this place. Okay, so you can see, well, where we selected. We did not select the whole data, but we started from the first name and then we drag it down to the rest. Okay, now we are looking for the student percent. Okay, now you can see that the student percent, okay, can be found in this which is AC, okay, which is, I think, column 29. Okay, okay, we can find the student percent, which is the class average point for the final exam. Okay, so we'll look up at 29 and then we'll look up for exact match. We'll close it and then we'll divide it, everything here, we divide it by whatever that is in AC2, sorry, AC2. Okay. We divide it with whatever that is in AC2. Now, we'll try to anchor this. We use absolute reference. Okay. To anchor this one. Okay. So we'll anchor that and we hit enter. So when you hit enter, you can see you're getting decimal place. Now you change that percentage and you leave it to 1 decimal place. Okay. Now the class average is not hard to find. Okay, the class average is in this this very cell. Okay, AC4. Okay, that's the total class average for all the, you can see class average percent for the final score exams. Okay, so you just reference that cell equal to this AC4. That's all. Okay, and hit enter. And then try to format this as a percentage and leave it 1 decimal place. Okay, and then we do that for this as well. Okay, so this time around, we are going to use exactly the same as what we did here, but we are not going to look up at what is in column 29, but we are going to look up at, because this is test 1, we are going to look up at what is in this place. This is test 1. So we are going to look up at, this is column what? 5. Okay, so our formula for this one will be equals to VLOOKUP. You know already, this is our lookup value. And then we'll go to our table array. You know, we select this. Okay, already asked that you don't create name range. Okay, just select it manually. Okay, so this is our lookup array. And then we are looking up at what is in column 5. But that is that for test 1. A is 1, B, C, D, and then E, which is 5. right? Yeah, 5. So we are looking at what's here. And then we want an approximate match. Okay. And then we'll close it and we will divide this 1 by what is in E2. Okay, the point possible that is in E2. Okay, so we can check the formula very well. Now we try to anchor this. Okay, let's anchor this one. Use absolute reference. Sorry, use absolute referencing for this, all of them. Oh, sorry. Use absolute reference here. Use absolute reference here. Also use absolute reference here. Okay, so you should have something like this. Okay, when you're calculating for the student percent average, the student average for the test 1, or the student percent of test 1, you should have something like this as your formula. Okay, and then you hit enter. So you hit enter, this is what you are getting. Now format this as a percentage and leave it 1 decimal place. Now here you can drag, but when you drag it down, you are going to get the same formula for all of them. Okay, the reason is that you selected only what is in test 1, okay, which is column 5. Now, because test 2 is in column 6, okay, and then you remember test 2 is in F. Okay, for example, test 2 is in F. So when we are looking for what we will use it to divide, we are supposed to divide it by what is in F2, just like we divided by the test 1 with what was in E2. Okay, so we divided what is in F2, and then when it comes to test 3, we divided what is in Gen 2. Okay, and you can see that that works. Okay, test 3 we divided by Gen 2, test 4 we divided by H2, but it is showing up the same. That is because we are using what is in test 1's column, which is 5 for all of them. So we are right when it comes to what we are using to divide, but the column is wrong. So as you drag it down, the only thing you gotta do is just change the column. Okay, so test 2 is column 6. Sorry, it's the column 6. And hit enter, you can see that's changed. And then test 3 is column 7. And hit enter. This is column 8. So you can see that you have your little change over here. Okay. Now the class average is for test 1 is, you can see it here. Okay. So you just reference that cell. Okay, so we select for this and hit enter, and then you change it as a percentage, leave it to 1 decimal place. And then class average for test 2 is, this is test 2. Okay, so this is the class average for test 2. You just hit enter. Use test 3. Class average for test 3 is this. Okay, so we hit enter, and then class average for test 4. Okay, this is test 4. This is the class average for test 4. And hit enter. And then format this as a what percentage and leave it to 1 decimal place. Okay, so you are done for that. Now you will use the same formula for this, okay, to look for this, for the student percent. Okay, remember, all you gotta change is the columns. Okay, the columns, and then what you are dividing must also be what the in the column, like what you have there, by the same column that you are going to what look up from. Like for example, the student percent for project 1. Okay, once you get this formula there, okay, what you can do is just copy. Okay, I'm just do one example for you, and then I'll just copy this. Okay, and then I'll come here and paste. I'll come and paste. Okay, and I'll hit enter. So you can see it's giving me the same thing with this one, and that is because I'm using the same formula, right? So what you have to do is that you can go check for project 1. Okay, so this is project 1. Okay, so project 1 is column. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so project 1 is column 9. So you can come here and change the column. Okay, instead of 5, you put your 9 there. And then you can see this place. We are using the possible point for test 1, but it's supposed to be that of what? That of project 1. And when you come to project 1 is I. Okay, we are going to use I4. Okay, instead of using what is in E4. Okay, so you can just change this. Sorry, E2. You can just change it to I and bring your to I2. Okay, so when you hit enter, you get what you are looking for. Format it as percentage, leave it 1 decimal place, and you can drag it down. Okay, and then you just try to change the column. So this is project 2 will be column 10, right? Yes, and then so it goes. Okay, so you do the same thing for this. Okay, you use the same formula, just that you have to change what you're using it to divide, and then the columns. Okay, and then when you come to the student percent for the second half project, you also use the same formula, but you will change this and then the column. Okay, now the class average, you always find it in the, like for example, the class average for project 1. Okay, project 1, when you go there, you can get the class average for project 1, which is this. Okay, 71.7%. That is the class average. The way you have to do, you just reference that cell. Okay, reference for project 1, that is this. So you just reference it, and then you change it to percentage and leave it 1 decimal place. And then you can just click and place down, and then you drag it, or you can reference it one after the other. Okay, and you will do the same thing for this one as well. Okay, so I'm not going to do the rest for you. You do that yourself since you know how to go about it. Now let's go to the charts. Okay, a chart, it says that create a chart to clearly display the student performance in relation to class average. For the final exam, steps and project chart, the student scores must be shown using columns, with the class average showing as a dot. Okay, so we are going to do that for this one. What you have to do is that you have to delete this. Okay, so you can just select and then click on delete on your keyboard, and it will delete it. Now to create a chart, let me delete this one also. I'll do the 2, and then you do the rest yourself. Okay, so what you create a chart, you select the data, You go to insert, and then you can come here, okay, and then see if recommended what you've recommended some charts for you. Okay, so let's see recommended charts. Okay, let me use this one. Okay, you click OK, and then it says that it wants, okay, when you come here, it says it wants the student scores must be showing using columns with the class average using up as dots. Okay, so one should show as dots and one should show as a column. Okay, which means that student percent should show up as column, and then this class average should show up as what? A dot inside this. Okay, now so you go to switch rows. Okay, and then okay, let me see. Oh, sorry. Okay, so you go to switch rows, and then let me track this. Okay, so when you go to switch rows, you can come to change chart type. You go to combo, and then when you go to combo, you can, it says the student percentage is showing up as a column, clustered column, but this one is showing up as line, but we want it as what? A dot. So you click on this, and then you click on, you select dot. Yes. So it should be something like this. Okay, let me delete it because of how complicated it was, and then we start again. Okay, so let me try to delete it here. Okay, so you first of all select this. Okay, go to insert, go to recommended charts, and then you can go to all charts, select this one. Okay, this one with a pink class average, and then student percent that's green, and then you click OK. And when you click OK, make sure you click on switch rows. When you click on switch rows, you can go to change chart type, and then go to, sorry, when you switch rows, sorry, it should be like this. And then you go to change chart type, you go to combo, and then you select this, and then click on this one, show up as dot, and you click OK. And when you click OK, make sure you drag, resize it so that it will fit this place. So this is how it should be like. Okay, now because this one is just two, okay, because it's just two, that's why it has it was very, very complicated. Now when you come to this one, when you select it, okay, you go to insert, you go to recommended charts, okay, you can go to all charts, okay, you can go to combo, and then you will get it. Okay, you will get it like this. Okay, so you go there, you select dots, just like this, and then you click OK. You can drag it here, and then, okay. So perhaps you may want to change, go to quickly, I want to change it. I want it to look like this. Okay, you can also change this one. Sorry, quick layout. Let it look like this. Okay, then you can add chart element. You can add the Asus titles. You can add the Asus title, primary and vertical. And then this one also, you can add the ASUS title primary. And then you can also add the ASUS title, which is the primary variable. Okay, so once that is done, okay, you can change the child title name. You can rename it, rename the ASUS title, both primary vertical and primary horizontal. You rename this also as well. Okay, and when it comes to this one, okay, you will do the same thing that you did with this. Okay, remember, you just select this one, you go to insert, and then you click on this, and then you go to combo. When you go to combo, and then you change the class average to a dot. Okay, all right, and then let me try to do some this thing here. You go to this, and then format axis. It's supposed to be 100%, not showing up as 80. Okay, so you can come here and change this to 1.0. 1.0, and then change this to 2. So it should be something like this. And then the same thing we'll have to apply to this very one. Okay, don't forget to rename this and rename that. And then when you create this and create that, after you have calculated for this, you use this once, okay, to create this, and then you use this one also to create this. So when you are done, just follow the same way we follow through with this one, okay? And then, show your access title, do it like this, and then you are good to go. Okay, so when you change this, okay, this is also supposed to change. When you change the names, you also have to change. Okay, these ones has to change. They have to change. Okay, they have to change. Okay, now try to format all of them as 200%. Okay, try to format all of them to 100%, not 120. Okay, so you can go through the names to check so that all of them is 100%. So whatever you do here, okay, you do the same thing for this one, you do the same thing for that. Okay, so that is that. And when you are done, please make sure that this is selecting A1. This one is also selecting A1, and that everything is according to the standard of professionalism. All right.